I'm Pria Hassan. I'm the group executive chairperson of Women of Africa. I sit as an advocate on various Johannesburg Stock Exchange listed entities and on numerous boards. I'm an entrepreneur. I founded the group back in 2003. It operates in the sectors of energy, logistics, automotive, healthcare, pharmaceuticals, technology and construction, just to name a few. I hail from KwaZulu-Natal. I'm an Overport girl. I believe that I got some of my skill from my dad, who is an entrepreneur, and my mum, who's a traditional mother with great values, strong discipline. I've lived with my grandmother and my uncle in a place called Reservoir Hills, and I believe that my militant behavior sometimes comes from there. I was raised at Howard College Law School, schooled to be the tough leader that I think I am, and I took my education and furthered it at the University of Pretoria. My biggest dream evolved over time. I think when I started out, I wanted to be this high-powered lawyer, and then it changed to being a Bollywood or Hollywood actress. But my skill set didn't lead me down that path. It changed. I wanted to transform business. I wanted to revolutionize my field. I wanted to break down the doors that held us back in the energy sector and really just go in there, not just for profitability, but to transfer the skill set to more women that were hungry to get into sectors that we've been marginalized on. And it's become hard to break that stereotype thinking, but I feel that I've done it. I've used my platform to do it. My dream now is to leave a lasting legacy, inspiring the future women generation. And I say that particularly because I often hear it in most platforms, but women have arrived. Women have special laws that now give them an entry into market. But the truth is that we're still sitting, waiting at the door to get a seat at that table. I'm now wanting to teach women how to build their own tables. I lived in Johannesburg, and like I said, I came from these high-powered boards, and I was chief legal counsel for a great organization. But my home was broken into, and my nanny was murdered, and I suddenly hit rock bottom. I realized that in as much as Johannesburg offered the adrenaline, KwaZulu-Natal was home. It was where my heart is. And I wanted to come back home, not just to be nurtured by my family around me, but I found that for so long, we had looked at Gauteng as being the city of gold, whereas this is KZN, right? It's our port city. Everything comes to life here. And I felt I could come back and I could start my own brand. Women of Africa was born. So in 2003, I realized that I could take a group of companies and invest not just into logistics, but I could invest in the energy sector. And it just carried on building. I followed my passion. I realized that I'm a strategic thinker. I'm a lateral thinker. And I did crazy stuff. I mean, I would go into basically the floods of Lubumbashi, the swamps of Kusempa in Zambia. I cut my teeth on Africa. I learned how to face the harshness of Africa. And I brought what I'd learned back into KwaZulu-Natal. And the rest is history. Firstly, I know everybody says this, right? But for me, when you hit rock bottom, nobody can pick you up better than your mother. Nobody gives you that certain kind of that push, that really shakes you and says, you've got to get your act together. So my mother's played a big role in motivating and inspiring me. If you look to international platforms, I love Indra Nooy. I love her because not only she's pragmatic, she has a lot of empathy. She brings a lot of heart in the business. And she resonated with me. She's forthright in terms of how she does come across. But at the same time, she's taught me to be a confident leader and to use my power of influence not just to develop myself, but to develop those around me and impact the lives of many. WA has really changed in terms of the sectors that it's playing in. But I think I've stuck core to what I'd like to see in the business. I want to keep adding intrinsic value. I don't just look at the market and all the chaos that's going on in the market. I look at how I can add value in my sphere. I look at long term. It's important for me to invest in decades, not just now. Calculated risk, but I'm not interested in quick returns. I've diversified my portfolio, like I said, from logistics to energy, petroleum trading, international traders. I've gone into trucking. I love moving my own product all over the world. I move cars. I've invested in a pharmaceutical company. We have our own medical devices for breast screening. I've invested in wellness hospitals, which is really where I really want to put some of my energy into now, is mental wellness. By the way, today is World Healthcare Day in terms of mental wellness. So it is become more and more important, especially for us women, to focus on that. And just yesterday, I invested in a tech company. So I like to think that I've changed how women actually engage in business. And in my own business itself, we're definitely in a trajectory direction. Well, in business, to have a healthy balance sheet, to at least be standing in the wake of all the chaos we've had, for me is a great achievement. I'm proud of that. And I didn't do it alone. I did it with a great team of women. As a brand and as a woman itself, we've just been recognized now as Trailblazers, so Women of the Year in terms of the Platts World Energy Platform. I just got the Barkarav Award as CEO, women CEO that's making a difference, which is also great in France. I feel that, not just have we accelerated in our business, but I'm proud of the fact that I brought governance practices, transparency, and we're fostering that culture down to other women entrepreneurs that we're mentoring. That's the business ethos that I'm proud of. On the community side, God, we're involved in so much, but I'm particularly proud of all that we do in sports, be it soccer, netball, volleyball, especially with children that do not have access to the funding that's necessary to take their skills and really show it off. So we're really big on that. We're big on communities in which we operate, teaching women how to just not get funding, but how to feed community within which they live. So on entrepreneurship side, I was part of the Midlands Entrepreneurship School, and we really want to teach our youth from the early stages how to have a change in their mindset. I think that the community for me is priority when it comes to really wanting to change the economic landscape of our country, particularly in KwaZulu-Natal. It's needed. I want to say there is none tougher than the glass ceiling that you face in the oil and petroleum industry. You have your alpha male stereotypes that just do not allow you to play at that level. Oh, that was my early challenge and prejudice that I faced. And I managed to navigate that terrain with the help of other male leaders that believed in transformation. So I'm grateful to them. I still deal with leadership challenges, particularly in the workspace. We have a diverse culture of people, and the dominating factor has always been that this is KwaZulu-Natal. We have a certain type of ego when it comes to how we operate. And I believe that we've now started to actually restructure that. It's been tough. And I've made them start welcoming more women into the position of executive. So, resilience is what I've seen them bring in. I focused on continuous learning and self-improvement. But my priority now is to practice on mindfulness and self-care in that workspace. My advice to young women out there would be, believe in yourself. Don't let anybody take away the sparkle. And you're capable of achieving anything. Celebrate your uniqueness. I think it's so important not to try to fit to someone else's shoes. I've taken risks. It's worked for me. And every time I've failed, I just looked at it as a new opportunity. I'm not too sure I've learned from my mistakes, but if you can, start journaling on that and try and pick up and change your narrative. Empower others, support your community. It is not easy. In South Africa, we're facing so much, I know, in terms of natural disasters, flooding. And I know, it really impacts on the way in which you think and the way in which you live, but make time. Learn from me. If I have grown as a leader, it's because I am in my 50s. And it is only now I've taken time to worry about my self-care, my self-reflection, now that I've started meditating and focusing really on my mental well-being. Do that now if you can. And stay resilient. Invest in your education. You need to know that continuous learning is so important, especially in your business. In my 50s, but no is retirement on my horizon just yet. I have started a foundation, and it is my pet project. I want to do more work with the communities that have faced these disasters. We have already started investing in rebuilding, whether it's building material or whether it's going out and cleaning schools that are still locked down from the floods. We've been doing that, and so that's part of what I want to do now. I want to launch a foundation for supporting women, especially on gender-based violence. We've been very quiet about it, but I'd like to look at that more closely. I want to talk about male empowerment as well. I want to talk about the suicide rates that we're seeing in men and start addressing the boy child. I want to create an ethos of future philanthropic efforts in my new goal. And I think that I can do that if I collaborate with other startup women-owned businesses. I can help them, and they can in return help their communities. Personally, I want to write a book, my own autobiography, and I may have missed out on being a full-time mother, but I'm soon to be a grandmother, a mémé, as they say in French. So I'm looking forward to just spending time with my granddaughter. It is only recently that I gave myself permission to relax, and strange as it may seem, it came with a lot of therapy and coaching. As a woman in business, you're on a clock, you're racing to just establish yourself, and once you've established yourself, others around you start leaning in on you. So there's no time to pause, to reflect, to self-care. Now I meditate for mental clarity, I read. I love traveling. I have done 4 trips this year, and I've just come back from Europe, and it was incredible with my girlfriends. I like walking, taking drives with my Frenchie. His name is Wilson. And getting some great bonding time with my husband now that all the birds have flown the nest.